Hello, my name is Nicholas Tanner. I'm from north of Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. I'm a hairdresser by trade. I have an innovational patent on a hair cutting and hair cutting method that enables colour and perm to be change the effect on heads of hair with the hair cutting method. Anyway, I'm not here about that today. I'm here about scientific names of hair. There's 4 types of hair, and their scientific names are negroid, mongoloid, peppercorn, and caucasoid. Caucasoid sounds good to me. Caucasian, caucasoid. Negroid, well, that's a racist name with its history. So I think that should be changed to Afroid, as in the African American people, not the Negroid American people, or Negroid without even the American on it. So they're from Africa, and their hair's known scientifically as Negroid. So what I'm here about is to get a few different 2 scientific names changed. Okay, so we have the Negroid. I've underlined it, which means that that's the scientific name, believe it or not, for Afroid head of hair. It should be called Afroid, as in Afroid, obviously from Africa, because if you look 60,000 years ago, they did a little bit of a journey along the borders of all the different Asian countries from India, etc., worked their way out and ended up settling in Papua New Guinea 60,000 years ago. And they've still got negroid head of hair known scientifically as such. So it should be changed to, obviously, Afroid. Okay, next one is mongoloid. That's a scientific hair for Asian, all of Asia, mongoloid. It's also, it used to be the term for people that have Down syndrome. Okay, so Down syndrome, mongoloid, I don't know, there's something about it that needs to be changed. Maybe there was no racism meant by it, but you know, in this day and age, it should be changed from mongoloid to Asiaoid. That's my opinion. From Asia. How many different countries are there in Asia that have got mongoloid heads of hair, scientifically named as such? We have Afroid with the negroid crossed out. That's a scientific name. And instead of calling it negroid, we call it Afroid. Pretty easy to understand, that one. Pretty easy, just keeping your eye out and having thinks. And study, of course. Then we have Asiaoid and mongoloid. That's a scientific name for mongoloid. It should be called Asiaoid. And the next one we got peppercorn. This one's a little bit of gives you one of those curveball type things, because there's no race or anything to it. It really comes down to, in my belief, it's more associated with people either in Africa working their way around to Papua New Guinea. You get some beautiful heads of hair that are a peppercorn. Well, we use that term. It's a beautiful curl, and it doesn't mean anything but peppercorn in terminology of what's the structure inside the hair. But why only one when we've got all the other 3, caucasoid, mongoloid, and negroid? 2 of those 3 are racist. Caucasoid, Caucasian. Okay, so the peppercorn, as I was saying, you get some really beautiful heads of hair that are a negroid peppercorn. Some up northern Africa as well. There's absolutely beautiful heads of hair. And then we have caucasoid, yep, underlined scientific name, caucasoid. Okay, here we go, this one, peppercorn. scientific name. It's to do with the structure. I wouldn't give it much credit though. And Mongoloid, the scientific name, which is obviously racist, or Asioid. As I said before, we got many countries in Asia. There should be not Mongoloid, should be Asioid. It's just another step forward in life with things changing. Afroid, we've got the scientific name down the bottom, it's still known as, is Negroid. And we have the Negroid name crossed out as well. Again, we have the Mongoloid name crossed out as well. We have all the scientific names were underlined. And my name is Nicholas Tanner. So I hope this gets uploaded and some people get to have a look and get things changed. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good evening.